Market update here on the 6th. It's been a while. I've been traveling a little bit, going on planes, and been really hard to get to my computer. So, what I see today is we hit basically right into 4-hour supply, and we nailed pretty much exactly what I talked about in the video on Thursday. So I was looking for 406.75. We went all the way up to 407.50, and actually on the 1-hour time frame, it hit exactly at the very top, like literally nailed it, and then backed off. So this 1-hour demand right here was pretty strong, and so we're backing off. So the question is, what is this now? If we're looking down here for a pullback, then I'm looking for something down here to probably 398.66. I'm not sure where we're at right now. There's a lot of different ways this could play out. I don't think that this. I said we were going to go to 380. I'm not 100% sure on that right now. This looks like a 5-wave move to me, honestly. And the thing about that too is a pullback on the 5-wave move would take us right down here to the 4-hour demand. The 0.61 fib would take us down here to 398, right into this box. And so we could be starting the melt up right now. And if that happens, then I would just say that this is probably an X wave, because this wouldn't be long enough to be a B wave. The other possibility, depending on what this is, it looks like an impulsive move to me, but it could be a second wave too. If it's a second wave, and this is 5 waves, which on lower time frames looks like it could be, then it's already retraced to basically the 0.61 fib. Then we're looking down here at like 376 for a third wave, and potentially all the way down here to 360. You got to remember that JP Morgan had that collar trade that needs to get below 3,600 to be max profit. So I've always kept that in the back of my mind, because they have a large say in what happens in the market. So don't count that out as well. On lower time frames, it looks like could be an impulsive move here. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Again, I would just be looking for a pullback to minimum for the next pullback, probably 398.60. I don't see any other places it's going to pull back to. So that would be my target if it keeps on going lower. If it keeps on going higher, then we're looking up here at 410. Be the next supply zone. So I'm kind of playing it like that right now. As far as Elliott wave, I think there's a few different ways it can go. If it's going to be a B wave, it's got to go like this. It's got to go A, pullback like this, and then it can come down, 5-wave move. I think if it's a WXY move, then this doesn't really matter. This could be the X wave. But if that were to happen, then that means it can't go past 379. And so it would have to be ABC or WXY, but can't go past there. So for that reason, if it's going to go down to 357, it's going to have to bounce around here till later in the month, and that wouldn't make sense because their collar trade ends on the 31st. So if we do bounce around more, I don't think that the dip will be that big. So yeah, actually that would be a 5-wave move. I'm talking about something different. Anyway, I'm just watching the demand zone, supply zones right now, and we'll see how this plays out. If we end up going higher from here, then this whole move is probably just W, X, and we're working on the Y wave higher. So I would expect a 5-wave move here, but this would be a short X wave right here. So moving on from that, really honestly looking at the farther out time frames and trying to predict what's going to happen, even though you can to an extent, it's just so day by day it changes, not really that much point. So just look for 398, 60, and then look for, if it goes higher, 410, and that's pretty much it. Nailed the 1 hour top on the supply zone at 407.50 and backed off pretty hard. So I would be favoring down here to 398, but we could get one more move higher to 410. Apple was the exact same thing. It nailed the 1 hour supply zone exactly at the very top, backed off. Same thing, but on this one I would be looking for first 151. If it gets below 150.40, I'm looking down here at 146.78 to 145.62. And this does not look like a second wave, so I think we can pretty much rule out that this is a second wave because Apple pretty much follows it step by step. But it does make it more likely that this is a first wave and we're pulling back for a second wave, just based on how explosive this move was. So I would lean towards this going higher, but it could again still be W, X, and Y lower. Microsoft is kind of in no man's land. I see a supply zone over here that it hit on the 1 hour time frame, but the bigger supply zone is right up here at 262. If it pulls back, I'll be looking for 255 to 254, and then it breaks that down here again to 251 to 249. On lower time frames, still kind of hard to tell, but I think it is probably, I don't know right now. It looks like it could be a 5-wave move, or it could be an ABC move. I don't know. It's pretty explosive. So again, I'm just going to watch the demand and supply zones and go with that for now and see how it reacts to them. So Tesla is bouncing around. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of triangle here, actually. So maybe something like that, and then go higher. I think it's going higher for sure. It's just a matter of if this is WXY and we're bouncing right here, then it could come up higher here. We have a supply zone at 202 to 203. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bounce higher to there. Or it might come down here first to this demand zone at 191 first and then bounce. If it breaks that, then we're looking at we're probably looking down here at like 177 to 172 if it just goes lower from here. And if that's the case, this probably is actually just A, B, and we're probably looking for the C wave down here. So I'm just watching the supply and demand on that one. Just gonna see how it plays out. I have some like risk-free trades, so I'm not like, I think this is gonna go down farther, and it could go all the way down here to 170, but I don't think it's gonna go much farther than that. QQQ, same thing as SPY. It a little bit different, I guess, but it hit the 4-hour supply zone, backed off, and you can look at the chart. The next one is down here at 294. I'm in SQQQ, so we'll see how that plays out. But I'm expecting something at least. Well, down here we actually already hit this right here at 299.88, and it bounced a little bit. So there's still the possibility that this bounces off of this right here and it goes higher. If it does that, I would not want it to break above 308. But if it breaks below 298.88, we're probably going to go all the way down here to 294 to 290. So again, same thing on this as it's on SPY. Is this a first wave right here? We're going to see here soon. If it goes higher from here, then it's probably the fourth wave right here, and then there'd be a fifth wave higher, and then I'd be really looking for a short down to the 50% retracement. So I'm not sure if we're there yet, but I am short right now. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon, I sold some puts for 85 for like a couple months out, and I bought the 90 puts with the premium because I'm looking for it to hit 85 at some point. I've had that right here. I've had this for a while. I think it's going to hit 85 at some point. And so I'm looking to get pretty good profit on the puts, and then I'll be down on the sold puts, but I'm not afraid of owning Amazon at 85 bucks. So it's pretty much a risk-free trade in my eyes. If it goes up, I pretty much break even. If it goes down, I'll make money on the puts, and then I can potentially own Amazon at 85 bucks. The W wave right here, down here at 85 is the 1.61 fib. This again also hit a little bit above it actually. We go to the 4-hour. It hit above this right here, maybe on the daily. Yeah, it broke out of this, but then it came right back. So it went up a little bit higher than I thought it would, but still came back down here and finished at 93.75. And so with that back off, I would be looking for on this one, probably back down here. If it falls back to 92 to 90, if it goes higher than this, then we're looking all the way up here at 98.98. But again, at some point, I think this is probably the A wave. At some point, we're going to see, even if it comes all the way up here, we're going to see another move down here. But this hit at 96, the top's here at 100. So yeah, so like $5 less than this is like 85. So I think it might have topped out, and you might be going lower from here. So with that being said, a lot of these can go much slower. And so we'll see if this plays out to be a WXY move back down to 380 like I talked about. But if it's going to be a much larger move, it's got to be a second wave. And that could take us all the way down to 360. So I'm not completely saying that's not possible. But if it's ABC, it's got to bounce around a little bit, basically. So A, like that. That's just based on the timing of this. This is the A wave. The B wave can't be that quick. It's got to be A, pull back B, and bounce around a little bit. B waves take a while to develop. And so I guess I'll just go over the different ways it can play out. So A, B would probably take to like the end of March. And then you'd probably get down here by like May, probably like May or so. We'd be down here at 380-ish, I would say. This came down to what, 392? No, actually, you'd probably only come down to like 385. ABC is only taking us down to 385. That's one possibility. The other possibility is this one. Down to 357 to 360. I see that as a possibility. And the third possibility is WXY, where maybe this would be an ABC move. So this would come down here like that. So ABC, 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 or we get A, ABC, and then a 5-wave move down to 380, or we get a 5-wave move from the second wave here in this supply zone. So we'll see which one plays out, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. Just follow the shorter time frames, and it's a lot easier than stressing out about what's going to happen a month from now. Let's go over the dollar. I haven't looked at it today. Dollar is, I'm guessing, down. So 104.26. We go back to what I said in the last couple videos. It literally almost played exactly how I had it drawn up. Came up here. It's coming down here. My target is still 103, I think 103.35 to 103.50. And so if this A wave took 22 days, I think that this can take all the way to OPEX. So I think it could take a while, but we could get down here to 103.50. And so the upside is still in play, in my opinion. So maybe, based on the dollar, maybe we get this move as the most likely. Something like that going into OPEX, and then we sell off after OPEX. As far as supply zones on the dollar and demand zones, probably use a daily on this. It's already hit them twice, but I think that it can break below these and come all the way down probably to this area right here, between 103.56 and 103.17. All right, last one, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is kind of stalling out here. There is a demand zone right here. I have it drawn up and it barely missed it. So I would expect I think that it's going to come down here and then it's going to bounce to like probably up here to this supply zone, maybe at 23.5, and then go lower into, maybe it comes down here all the way to 17,000, but my targets are still here at 23 and 19.1. Let's go on the weekly. The weekly is almost better for Bitcoin since there's so much movement and it never stops. I would say anywhere in this area, but probably down here to 19.1 eventually before going higher. So I'm still pretty bullish on the overall market. I don't see any reason for it to fall unless it turns out to be a first, second wave, which I don't know. That doesn't look like a first wave to me. So that's pretty much it though for today. I'm just using supply demand on tech right now, but I'm probably going to start getting into like more sectors, and then maybe get into like growth stocks as well, since they usually have bigger moves, and see if it works. It's working on some of the growth stocks pretty well, and I think there's a lot of opportunity. The only thing with growth stocks though is sometimes they stall out and they can pin them for a long time. So you got to watch out with options on that. You got to be buying shares. So I'll leave it at that. Let me know in the comments what you think, and where do you think we're going, and I'll talk with you in the next video. Probably try to do something during the day now that I'm back in a spot and I have a little bit of stability here. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.